When most people picture Roman legions, they imagine a wall of shields, polished armor, and perfect formations moving as one across the battlefield. But every army in history has faced another, quieter enemy, one that doesn't shout, doesn't charge, but kills with the slow patience of nature itself. Winter nights. The Roman Empire stretched across some of the coldest frontiers of the ancient world, from the forests of Germania to the windswept highlands of Britain, where icy air and heavy snow could be as deadly as any sword. Surviving those conditions required far more than training and discipline. It demanded wisdom, improvisation, and a deep understanding of how to stay alive when the world froze around them. The legions became masters of adaptation, developing clever low-tech strategies to endure freezing temperatures without insulated housing, without modern bedding, and often without reliable fuel. Their methods reveal not only the toughness of ancient soldiers, but the ingenuity of human beings faced with the raw power of winter. And interestingly, many of these same techniques still hold value today, not just for survivalists, but even for gardeners, homesteaders, and anyone who works closely with nature. To understand how Roman soldiers slept through bitter winter nights is to rediscover knowledge that is ancient, simple, and very much alive. A Roman soldier's woolen cloak de sagum was far more than a uniform accessory. It was a lifeline. At night, legionaries wrapped themselves tightly in its coarse wool, using the fibers to trap warm air against their bodies. But the secret wasn't just in the material, it was in how they wrapped it. They folded it over itself, layered it to create pockets of trapped air, and pinned it at the shoulder so it covered both head and feet in the darkness of an ice-covered camp. That cloak became a crude but effective sleeping bag, sometimes the only barrier between a soldier and the creeping onset of hypothermia. They also understood that warmth is strongest when shared. Soldiers slept, pressed shoulder to shoulder, aligning their cloaks and pulling heat together instead of losing it to the night. Inside larger tents, 6 to 8 men would rest in close formation, their combined body heat transforming a freezing shelter into a space where sleep was actually possible. It wasn't comfort, it was survival through coordination. But the Romans also knew the ground itself could kill. Lying directly on frozen earth drains body heat faster than most people realize, and Roman soldiers adapted quickly. They improvised raised bedding, using whatever they had: branches, pine boughs, straw, even their own shields, creating layers of insulation that separated their bodies from the cold soil. This simple step could mean the difference between waking stiff and cold, and not waking at all. Fires, when allowed, were carefully controlled. Open flames could attract enemies, but in safe encampments, the legions dug shallow, stone-lined fire pits. These pits concentrated heat, burned fuel more efficiently, and radiated warmth long after the flames went out. It was primitive thermal engineering, perfected through necessity. Wherever the legions marched, they gathered local vegetation not for camouflage, but for bedding. Straw, reeds, or dried pine branches were layered thickly to create cushioned sleeping mats. This plant material held pockets of air, forming a natural mattress that insulated and softened the hard ground beneath them. The Romans were also practical about the act of sleep itself. During the harshest months, soldiers didn't try to sleep through the entire night. Instead, they rested in shorter shifts, rotating watches so every man could wake up, move around, and warm his muscles before lying down again. This rhythm kept blood flowing and spirits intact, an ancient understanding of how to manage the body under stress. But perhaps the most overlooked Roman survival tool wasn't physical at all. It was discipline. From early training onward, legionaries were taught mental resilience, the ability to rest in discomfort, to stay calm in harsh conditions, and to adapt their expectations to reality. This psychological toughness allowed them to endure nights that would break less disciplined troops. The resourcefulness of Roman soldiers shows that survival in extreme climates isn't about luxury. It's about adaptation. They lacked modern jackets, modern gear, or insulated tents. Yet they endured centuries of winter campaigns across some of the harshest terrains in Europe by maximizing the simplest tools available: wool, straw, fire, stone, and each other. And today, their methods still carry meaning. Gardeners and homesteaders use the same principles when protecting plants from frost: layering to trap heat, using thermal mass insulating from the ground, and positioning materials to stabilize temperature. The techniques that kept Roman legionaries alive in frozen provinces are the same principles used to protect crops, greenhouses, animals, and even homes during harsh weather. Because at the end of the day, survival, whether of people or plants, is always rooted in the same natural laws. The story of Roman legionnaires enduring bitter winters isn't just a window into the past. It's a reminder of timeless ingenuity, of human beings learning to cooperate with nature instead of fighting it blindly. Their cold weather sleep techniques were born from necessity, but they still hold wisdom for anyone seeking resilience in a world where warmth, shelter, and adaptability still matter. If you valued this journey into ancient survival knowledge, be sure to subscribe to In the Beginning and share this with those who appreciate the forgotten skills that still shape our modern lives. Together, we'll keep uncovering the old world techniques that continue to prove their worth, even thousands of years later.